Mr. Parker woke before the alarm, the way busy people often do. The house was quiet in the early light, with a soft glow on the kitchen tiles and the hum of the fridge filling the air. He stood at the counter with a mug of coffee, reading a few lines of morning news, and then he stopped. He told himself not to fall into work so fast. Today, he wanted to move slower. Today, he wanted to be a good father first. He had promised that to himself many times since Malik came home. Malik was 9, small for his age, with gentle eyes that watched everything. He liked to line up pencils by size, liked to fold napkins, perfectly in half, and liked to sit close to the dog, Buddy, so their shoulders almost touched. Malik was new here. He was brave and careful at the same time. Mr. Parker knew this was a big change for a child. It was a big change for him, too. Buddy had joined the family around the same time. He was a senior rescue dog with a quiet face and cloudy eyes. He walked slowly and looked at new rooms as if they might move without warning. He often slept with his nose under a chair, where he could watch the whole room from a safe corner. He trusted Malik more than anyone else. It was not something Mr. Parker understood yet, but he was grateful. The bond made the house feel softer. Mr. Parker had money. He had done well in tech, built things, sold them, and invested in other people's ideas. He felt proud of that work. But this new job, being a father, was different. Money was not a simple fix here. He could buy books, and beds and breakfast cereal in colorful boxes. He could sign up for tutoring and dance lessons and anything Malik might dream of. But Malik did not need 100 choices. He needed presence. He needed steady eyes and a steady voice. He needed someone to eat breakfast with him, not just to buy the food. He thought about all this as he rinsed an apple in the sink. The water made a bright, clean sound on the stainless steel. He glanced at the clock. A school day. He planned to drive Malik himself. No driver, no car service. Just the two of them. The quiet morning, and maybe a short talk about math or the art project due next week. It felt like a good plan. He heard soft footsteps then, lighter than his own, a small rhythm on the hallway floor. Buddy's nails clicked, gently behind. Mr. Parker smiled. He put the apple on a plate and reached for a second one but paused, listening. The footsteps stopped near the kitchen, not in the open space but to the side. He turned his head and saw a thin line of light, where the pantry door was nearly closed. He walked toward it without making noise, careful not to startle anyone. The pantry had 2 small windows and shelves that reached high up the wall. Inside was the neat order that the housekeeper loved. Jars with labels, baskets with folded napkins, and a big paper bag of dry dog food tucked in the corner near Buddy's stainless steel bowls. The air inside smelled like oats and cinnamon, with a faint toasted scent from the dog kibble. Through the small gap in the door, Mr. Parker saw Malik standing with his back to him. The boy's shoulders were a little tense, like he was working. Very hard to do something right. Buddy sat at Malik's feet, quiet and watchful. Malik held one small piece of kibble between his fingers. He lifted it slowly, looking at it the way someone looks at a coin or a button, some small object that might mean more than it seems. Mr. Parker's breath caught. He did not understand what he was seeing. Malik brought the piece near his mouth. He didn't shove it in or move fast. He just touched it to his lips, then paused, and then looked down at Buddy. The dog's ears twitched. Malik's face was calm and serious. It was not a game. It was not silly. It looked like a promise he was trying to keep. A dozen thoughts ran through Mr. Parker's mind at once. Was Malik hungry? Was Malik not getting enough breakfast? No, that was not right. The pantry was full. The fridge was full. The staff prepared a list each week and Mr. Parker checked it. He bought the cereals Malik had pointed to in the store. He had asked about allergies and taste. He had even taken a photo of the peanut butter brand so he would get the same one. Next time. How could this be hunger? Maybe it was curiosity, he told himself. But that did not sit right either. Malik was careful about food. He read labels. He lined up cookies by size and gave the smaller ones to Buddy like a little ceremony. There had to be a reason. Mr. Parker felt a small wave of worry rise in his chest. The worry brought a second wave. Guilt. If there was a reason, maybe he should already know it. Maybe he had missed a clue. He pushed the door a tiny bit more. The hinge made a soft sound, and Malik turned his head quick, startled. The piece of kibble was still between his fingers. Buddy looked up and wagged his tail 1, 2 times, as if to say, "Yes, I am here. Yes, we are okay." "Hey, pal," Mr. Parker said, trying to keep his voice warm and calm. "Good morning." Malik stood very still. He lowered the kibble. He did not hide it. He did not look guilty, only surprised and unsure. Mr. Parker saw the neat collar of Malik's school shirt and the careful way he had tied his laces. He saw the way the boy's other hand rested on Buddy's head. Malik took a small breath. "Good morning," he said. Mr. Parker stepped inside the pantry. He did not want to crowd them, so he stayed near the door. "Breakfast time?" he asked. "We have apples. I can make eggs. Or pancakes. I have time." Malik looked down and then up again. He nodded, but it was a slow, uncertain nod. "It's okay," he said softly. Buddy turned his head toward Malik's hand, then back to the kibble bag. Mr. Parker watched the way the dog kept checking in, as if the boy were the son in the room. He noticed small things he had not noticed before. How Malik kept his palm open when he held a treat, how he waited for Buddy to sniff, how he smiled a tiny smile with only one side of his mouth. There was a method here. There was care here. Mr. Parker felt both comfort and confusion at the same time. "Are you hungry?" he asked, gentle, careful not to make it a big question. "You can tell me if you are. We have lots of food." Malik's eyes shifted to the shelves, then to the dog bowls. "I'm okay," he said again. His voice was steady now. He placed the kibble back in the bag, rolled the top, and set it carefully in the corner. Mr. Parker wanted to say many things at once. "You never have to be hungry here. You can ask for anything. You can wake me up if you want breakfast at 5 in the morning. You do not need to take food from the dog." But he held his words. He did not want to make Malik feel watched or judged. He did not want to make this moment heavy in a way that would stick. He took a slow breath and nodded. "Okay," he said. "Let's eat together." They moved to the kitchen island. Mr. Parker washed the apples again, even though they were already clean, because the sound of water helped fill the silence in a friendly way. He cracked 2 eggs into a bowl, added a little milk, and whisked. Malik stood near the stove and watched the eggs turn soft in the pan. Buddy lay down with a little sigh, his chin on his paws, his eyes on Malik. "Toast?" Mr. Parker asked. "Sure," Malik said. "You want to push the lever?" Mr. Parker asked, and Malik smiled, just a small one, and pressed the toast down. When it popped up, he caught it with a quick hand, proud of the timing. Mr. Parker noticed that pride. It mattered. He wanted to notice more. They sat at the table and ate slowly. It was a simple breakfast: eggs, toast, apple slices. But it felt good. Mr. Parker asked easy questions. "Do you want to bring your sketchbook in the car? Do you want me to pick you up today, or the van? Do you want to try making oatmeal tomorrow?" Malik answered with short, clear words. He did not look away. He did not talk much, but he did not close the door either. All through breakfast, Mr. Parker felt the pantry scene sitting in his mind like a small, bright light. He did not know what it meant yet. He did not know if he should call someone, read a book, ask a friend. He only knew he needed to learn. He needed to slow down and listen. The old habit of fixing things with speed and money, of making a list and checking it off, would not work here. This needed a new kind of skill. He thought back to the day the judge signed the papers. Malik had held his hand in the hallway and looked at the floor tiles as if counting them. Mr. Parker remembered the simple "thank you" the judge said to him and the way the social worker squeezed his shoulder on the way out. He remembered thinking, I will not fail this child, not by being too busy, not by filling the house with things but leaving it empty of time. After breakfast, they rinsed the plates together. Malik lined the forks in the dish rack with the handles, pointing the same way. Mr. Parker did not correct or change it. He just said, "That looks very neat," and meant it. Buddy wandered to his bowl, sniffed it, then looked back at Malik. The boy went to him, knelt, and touched the rim of the bowl with 2 fingers, as if showing it to the dog like a friend shows a friend a safe doorway. Buddy wagged his tail, slow and sure, and ate. On the drive to school, the city looked new again. Mr. Parker noticed small things he usually missed: a laundromat with bright flags, a cafe with chalk drawings on the sidewalk, a librarian unlocking the branch door and smiling at the morning air. Malik held his sketchbook in his lap. He drew a little square, and then a circle on the page, and then a tiny paw shape. Mr. Parker did not ask what it was. He just drove and kept the radio low. At the school drop-off, Malik unbuckled and looked back at the car seat before closing the door like he was checking if everything was in its place. "See you later," he said. "I'll be here," Mr. Parker said. "Hawa." The next morning, Mr. Parker woke early again. The kitchen felt calm, like a soft pause before the day began. He made coffee and told himself to act with care. He remembered the pantry. He remembered Malik's quiet face and Buddy's calm eyes. He did not want to rush. He did not want to guess. He wanted to be present, but old habits are strong. When the chef arrived, Mr. Parker spoke fast. "Let's do something special," he said. "Fresh waffles, fruit cut into stars, warm croissants, hot chocolate with marshmallows." He thought, if I show care with good food, Malik will feel safe. He ordered a lunchbox with neat compartments. He added bright stickers and a note that said, "Have an amazing day." He was trying very hard. When Malik came to the kitchen, the table looked like a hotel display. There were plates stacked high and napkins folded like little boats. Malik stood in the doorway and blinked, like his eyes needed time to understand all the choices. "Good morning," he said in a small but steady voice. "Good morning," Mr. Parker said. He lifted a plate. "Waffles with berries or chocolate chips?" Malik sat down slowly. He reached for a croissant and broke it into careful halves. "This is enough," he said. He took a sip of water and looked at Buddy, who was waiting under the table. Buddy wagged his tail once, then twice, and lay back on the kitchen mat. "Mr." Parker smiled too big, smiled too fast, then tried to slow down. He wanted to say, "If you want anything, ask. If you like only plain toast, say it." He handed Malik the lunchbox. "I packed fruit and a sandwich," he said. "There's a little note inside." "Thank you," Malik said. He put the box in his backpack, neat and careful, like placing a fragile object on a shelf. They drove to school. Mr. Parker tried to ask gentle questions. "Do you want to talk about art class? Do you want to try soccer after school?" Malik took time to answer each one. "Maybe later." "I'm okay with art." "Can I go to the library instead of soccer?" The answers were simple and kind, but they came with a small space around them, as if the words were stepping stones and there was water between them. At drop-off, Mr. Parker waved. "I'll pick you up today," he said. "Okay," Malik said, and he looked back at the car seat again before he shut the door. Buddy, who had come along for the ride, lifted his head and then settled again, as if timing his breath to Malik's steps. At home, the morning staff moved around the kitchen with quiet speed. They cleaned pans and wrapped extra waffles. 2 of them spoke softly near the pantry. Mr. Parker did not want to listen, but the words reached him anyway. "Did you hear about the dog food thing?" one whispered. "Poor kid," the other said. "Do you think he was hungry?" The voices were not mean, just curious. But curiosity can still pinch. Mr. Parker felt a warm flush on his neck. He did not want Malik's private moment to become a story for others to pass along. He walked to his office and closed the door. He sat and stared at the wall calendar, filled with meetings and calls. He clicked open a blank page and wrote down one sentence: "Be steady." He looked at the sentence for a long time, then underlined it twice. That afternoon, he picked up Malik early for a quick stop at the pet store. He thought a new bowl might help Buddy feel excited about dinner. They looked at bowls together: steel, ceramic, ones with cartoon bones on them, ones with rubber bottoms. Malik ran a finger along the rim of a simple white bowl. "This one is..." "Fine," he said. They bought a small bag of a new kibble, too. The label showed a smiling dog and words that promised calm energy and a happy tummy. Mr. Parker felt hope rise. He wanted this to be easy. At dinner, he placed the new bowl on a fresh mat near the pantry. He measured the food and poured it with care. Buddy walked over and sniffed. He looked up at Malik, then at the bowl, then back at Malik. He did not eat. He lay down with a soft sound, like a sigh. "It's okay, Buddy," Mr. Parker said. "Your dinner is ready." He tried to sound light. He tried to sound sure. Malik watched with a tiny crease between his brows. He knelt near Buddy and put his hand on the dog's shoulder. He didn't touch the food. He just waited with Buddy. He waited like a friend waits outside a door. "Maybe he's not hungry," Mr. Parker said, trying to keep the room gentle. "We can try later." They cleared the table. They washed plates. The sound of the water was warm and simple. Then Malik went to his room to draw. Buddy followed and sat by the door. A few minutes later, Malik came back to the kitchen. He paused at the pantry and looked at the bowl again. He glanced at Mr. Parker and then at Buddy, and then his hand made a small, careful move toward the bag of kibble the way he had in the morning. Mr. Parker stepped closer without stepping in. He wanted to say, "You don't have to do that." He wanted to say, "You are safe here." But the words did not come out. The moment passed. Malik drew back his hand. Buddy licked the edge of the bowl, then lay down again. The next day at school pickup, Ms. Chen, the counselor, asked if Mr. Parker had time to talk. They sat on a bench near a small garden with low flowers. Children laughed nearby. The air smelled like chalk and fresh grass. "How is the first month going?" she asked, voice kind. Mr. Parker chose his words with care. "He's neat. He's kind. He's thoughtful. He's quiet. I'm trying to give him space and also show him I'm here." He rubbed his hands together gently. "I keep trying to show love by doing more. More food, more choices, more trips. But I'm not sure it's helping." Ms. Chen nodded. "New families need rhythm more than variety," she said. "Think of it like a heartbeat. Breakfast at the same time, a simple dinner together, a how was your day that happens in the same chair with the same calm voice. Gifts are sweet, but routine is trust. Routine says, you can count on me." Mr. Parker felt the words settle into place. "I can do that," he said. "I want to do that." Also, Ms. Chen added, when a child is learning a new home, he may try to care for someone else as a way to feel safe. That could be a plant, a fish, or a pet. It helps him feel steady. If you can support that safely, it can be wonderful. Mr. Parker thought of Buddy in the pantry. "I think he is trying," he said. "I think he is caring in a big way. I just don't always understand how." "You don't need to understand every detail yet," Ms. Chen said. "You can say, 'Show me,' or 'Teach me how you like to do this.' Let him be the expert in something. It builds pride." That night, Mr. Parker tried to make a simple dinner without fancy tricks. He chose oatmeal, toast, and sliced bananas. He set 2 bowls on the table and called Malik to join him in the kitchen. "Will you help me stir?" he asked. Malik stood by the stove and watched the oats simmer. He held the wooden spoon like it was something valuable. He stirred slowly. counting in his head. "It's getting thick," he said. "It looks perfect," Mr. Parker said. They ate at the small table by the window. The oatmeal tasted plain and warm. They talked about the new book from the library, the one with sketches of different dog breeds. They looked at the page about senior dogs and read the short paragraph about patience and quiet walks. Malik traced a line under the words with his finger. "This is nice," he said. After dinner, they tried Buddy's meal again. New bowl, new mat, careful pour. Mr. Parker stepped back, giving space. Buddy sniffed, looked at Malik, and then nudged the bowl with his nose. He took a few small bites, then paused, then ate a little more. It was not much, but it was something. Malik sat cross-legged on the floor, steady and calm, and hummed a tune so soft that only the dog seemed to hear it. Over the next few days, Mr. Parker continued to try in ways that felt simple. He woke at the same time. He sat at the same chair for breakfast. He asked one question about school and then listened without rushing to fill the silence. He kept dinners calm and unfancy. He walked with Malik and Buddy after dinner, just three slow shapes moving down the block. But not every moment worked. One afternoon, Mr. Parker found a flyer crumpled in the backpack. It was for a class field trip. At the bottom, there was a small box for family volunteer. He had signed the form earlier and sent it back without asking Malik if he wanted him to volunteer. He told himself he didn't want to embarrass Malik by showing up too much. Now he wondered if he had missed. "A chance. Did you want me to come?" he asked that night. Malik shrugged, but the shrug looked a little sad. "It's okay," he said. "Maybe next time." "I would like to, next time," Mr. Parker said softly. There were other small misses. Mr. Parker bought 3 new board games without asking which one Malik liked. They sat on a shelf, still wrapped. He ordered a set of matching shirts for Family Fun Day, and then realized Malik liked picking his own style. He booked a surprise weekend trip to a farm, then canceled it when he saw how tired Malik looked after a busy week at school. Each time, he felt the gap between trying hard and trying right. At night, when the house was quiet, Mr. Parker read short articles about bonding with adopted children. He learned about letting the child lead small choices. He learned about using simple language. He learned that eye contact can be intense for some kids, and that it's okay to talk side by side while taking a walk or doodling together. He underlined a sentence. Connection is built in the calm minutes that repeat. He began to say different things. Instead of, "Do you want this?" he tried, "Would you like this or that?" Instead of, "Are you okay?" he tried, "How did lunch taste?" It helped a little. Not magic, not fast, but a little. Buddy still ate less than before. He seemed to eat best when Malik was near and the room was quiet. Sometimes L.A. Saturday came with soft light and a slow sky. Mr. Parker packed a small bag with Buddy's records, a water bottle, and Malik's sketchbook. He tried to keep his voice calm and cheerful. "We'll go see the vet, then maybe we can stop for a snack," he said. Malik nodded and checked Buddy's leash twice, making sure the clip clicked just right. Buddy wagged his tail in a gentle rhythm, as if he felt the careful mood and wanted to match it. The clinic was bright and clean, with a plant by the door, and a basket of folded blankets at the front desk. A receptionist smiled and gave Buddy a treat shaped like a tiny bone. Malik accepted it, showed it to Buddy in his open palm, and waited. Buddy took it softly and then looked up at him, grateful and trusting. A tech led them to a room with a low table and a stool with wheels. Posters on the wall showed dogs of different sizes and how to brush their coats. Malik stood by the corner, sketchbook in his hands, and drew a quick line that became a careful circle. Mr. Parker filled out a form. He wrote about Buddy's eating, about the new bowl, the quiet room, and the way Buddy watched Malik before taking a bite. He paused over the part about the pantry. He wrote that, too, in simple words, and took another breath. The door opened, and a woman came in wearing a navy jacket with a small embroidered paw on the sleeve. Her eyes were kind. "Hello, I'm Miss Rivera," she said. "I'm an animal behavior specialist. The vet asked me to join this visit so we can look at the whole picture together." Mr. Parker shook her hand. "Thank you for seeing us," he said. "We're still learning." "That's good," she said. "Learning is the best place to be." She crouched down so her face was level with Buddy's, but she did not reach out right away. She waited. Buddy sniffed the air and then her sleeve. She laughed softly. "Nice to meet you, friend," she said. She watched the room the way someone listens to music. She noticed where Malik stood. She noticed Buddy's eyes. She noticed how Mr. Parker kept checking both of them and then tried not to. "Tell me what you see at mealtimes," she said to Mr. Parker, and then she looked at Malik, too. "And tell me what you do, Malik. You are the expert here." Mr. Parker explained the routine. He kept his voice even. He said the part about the pantry without making it sound big or scary. He said, "I walked in one morning and saw Malik with a piece of kibble. He touched it to his lips. I worried I was doing something wrong, but when I looked at them both, it did not feel like a bad thing. It felt careful. I just didn't understand." Ms. Rivera nodded while she listened. She turned her head slightly toward Malik. "Can you show me, with pretend food?" she asked. "We will not use real food, right now. I just want to see the steps you take so I can learn from you." She took a clean, empty paper cup and placed it on the floor. Malik looked at Mr. Parker, then back at Ms. Rivera, and then at Buddy. He took a small breath and moved the way he did at home. He pretended to take a tiny piece from the cup with his fingers. He held it up and showed it to Buddy like a little light. He brought it near his mouth, not inside, just near, as if to say, "See?" Then he lowered his hand and offered the space where the treat would be, his palm open and patient. Buddy leaned forward, sniffed the empty space, and looked, up with soft eyes. Even without real food, the pattern made sense to him. Ms. Rivera watched closely. She did not interrupt. She waited until the whole small dance ended and Buddy sighed with comfort. Then she stood, still gentle. "Thank you," she said to Malik. "That was very clear." She turned to Mr. Parker, her voice warm and steady. "He is not trying to eat the food," she said. "He is trying to show the dog the food is safe. He's using a brave, visible act to say, 'This is okay for you. See, I will take it first, and nothing bad happens.'" Many quiet, caring kids do this with shy or worried animals. They make the big world smaller so the animal can step into it without fear. Mr. Parker felt the words land in the center of his chest. The room did not change, but the meaning did. He remembered the pantry light, the slow morning, the neat collar on Malik's shirt, the weight of small choices. He remembered his own rush to fix things with more food and more bowls. He had not seen the message inside the moment. Now it was as clear as sunlight. He froze in place, not because he was afraid, but because he had found the shape of the truth. Ms. Rivera kept her voice soft. "We have to keep Malik safe too," she said. "We don't want him to put anything near his mouth that isn't made for him. But the idea he's using is beautiful. It's called social proof. When a trusted person calmly shows something is safe, a worried animal can relax and copy that calm. He learned a kind skill." Malik looked from Ms. Rivera to Buddy and then to Mr. Parker, checking their faces the way a careful pilot checks instruments. Mr. Parker's eyes were gentle. "I'm proud of you," he said. The words came out quiet and true. "I didn't understand." "Thank you for helping, Buddy." Ms. Rivera nodded. "We can adjust the steps to make them safe for both of you," she said. "For example, Malik can hold the treat in his open palm at chest level, smile, and lower it slowly. He can tap the bowl with 2 fingers to invite Buddy. He can take one calm breath and hum a little tune. Dogs love soft, steady sounds. There's no need to touch the treat to his own mouth. The message will still be clear. She showed them. She took a harmless training treat and placed it in her open palm, shoulder relaxed, elbow soft. She bent, her wrist slightly, so the treat was centered on her hand. "See?" she said to Buddy, just a whisper, and then she lowered her hand like the second hand of a clock. No rush, no jerk. She tapped the metal bowl gently, ding, once. Buddy stepped forward, sniffed, and took the treat with a slow, grateful bite. His tail made a small, happy wave, Malik's shoulders lowered by half an inch, the relief visible. "The bowl tap becomes a signal," Ms. Rivera explained. "Over time, he will know that tap means safe food now. For senior dogs, clear. Signals in calm rooms are gold." Mr. Parker listened to every word. He felt a mix of feelings, relief that there was a path, a pinch of guilt for not seeing it sooner, and a deep respect for the quiet skill Malik carried into the pantry. He sat on the stool and tried to say the right thing in the right way. "Malik," he said slowly, "what you did was kind. I am sorry I didn't ask you about it earlier. Thank you for showing us." Malik nodded once. "I wanted Buddy to eat," he said. He looked worried. At the shelter, some dogs ate only when we sat near them. Ms. Rivera's eyes softened. "That makes perfect sense," she said. "You learned a gentle way to help. Let's just polish it so it's safe and easy and so you can feel proud every time." They made a small plan right there in the room. They would feed Buddy in the quiet corner near the pantry light. They would keep the same simple bowl and mat. Malik would be the one to tap the bowl. He would show the treat in his open palm, then lower it. He would keep a soft hum in his throat, his tune, his choice. Mr. Parker would stand nearby, not too close, and breathe in the same slow rhythm so both boy and dog could feel his steady support. The vet came in to check Buddy's teeth, ears, and belly. "He looks good," the vet said. "Senior, yes, but strong." He suggested a mild digestive support and gave them a small bag of vet-approved training treats that smelled like chicken. "Use these for the ritual," he said. "Small pieces, easy to chew." Before they left, Ms. Rivera knelt beside Malik again. "You did something hard today," she said. "You showed the room how you help Buddy. That takes courage. Can I give you a small job? It's very important." Malik's eyes lit with attention. "Okay," he said. "You are now the keeper of the tap," she said, serious but smiling. "Only you tap the bowl to start mealtime. If someone else forgets and taps, you can say, 'I will do the tap,' and they will stop. This is your signal. It will make Buddy feel safe." Malik looked at Mr. Parker. Mr. Parker placed a hand over his heart. "I will remember," he said. "You are the keeper of the tap." On the drive home, the sun moved through the trees and made soft shapes on the car seats. No one rushed to speak. The quiet felt full, not empty. Buddy lay down with his head near Malik's knee, peaceful. At a stoplight, Mr. Parker glanced at Malik's sketchbook. On the page, Malik had drawn a little bowl with a tiny sound ring above it, and next to it, a hand with an open palm. Underneath, he wrote in neat letters, "Safe." At home, they tried. The new plan at dinner. The kitchen was calm. No extra noises, no TV. Mr. Parker measured Buddy's portion and stepped back. Malik stood near the mat. He opened his palm with one small treat, let Buddy see it, then lowered his hand with care. He tapped the bowl once. Ding. He hummed a quiet line, only a few notes. Buddy lifted his head, sniffed, and then began to eat. Not fast, not slow, just right. His tail made that happy wave again. Mr. Parker felt something in his chest loosen, like a knot that had been there for a long time and finally learned how to untie. He wanted to clap, but he did not want to break the quiet magic. He just smiled and breathed in time with the room. After Buddy finished, Malik put the extra treats back in a small jar on the counter. He screwed the lid on and placed the jar in the same spot, exact and neat. He turned to Mr. Parker. "Can we write the steps?" he asked. "So everyone does them the same way." "Yes," Mr. Parker said. "Let's write them and put them on the fridge." They wrote the steps in simple words. They titled the page, "Buddy's Calm Meal." Malik drew tiny icons next to each line, a hand, a bowl, a music note, a heart. The next week began with small, steady changes that felt big inside the house. Morning light touched the same 2 chairs at the table. The kettle whistled at the same time. The same easy question floated across the warm air. "How did you sleep?" And the same easy answer came back, "Okay." Mr. Parker noticed how the sameness made everything feel safe. He did not rush to fill silences. He did not add extra choices. He kept the rhythm like a soft drum beat. On Monday evening, they tried the plan again. Mr. Parker measured Buddy's food and stepped back. Malik stood in his spot near the mat. He opened his palm with one small treat. He let Buddy see it. He lowered his hand slowly. He tapped the bowl once. Ding! He hummed. Those few calm notes. Buddy's ears twitched. Then he leaned forward and ate. Mr. Parker watched Malik's face relax, just a little, and he felt his own breath deepen to match the calm in the room. "Keeper of the tap," Mr. Parker said in a friendly whisper. "That was perfect." Malik nodded. He picked up the pencil and added a tiny check mark next to the fridge note that said, "Buddy's Calm Meal." The page now had 3 check marks from the last 3 dinners. The marks were small, but they looked like shining coins to Mr. Parker, proof that trust was growing. There were small surprises, too. On Tuesday, Malik wanted to try making rice. He read the instructions twice, measured the water with slow care, and pressed the button on the rice cooker. When steam rose, he stepped back and watched like it was a small cloud at home in their kitchen. The rice came out a little sticky, and they laughed at the way it clung to the spoon. "We'll call it cloud rice," Mr. Parker said, and Malik smiled with both sides of his mouth this time. On Wednesday, a summer storm rolled through the city and made the windows rattle a little. Buddy did not like thunder. He stood, walked to the pantry, and then back to the living room, unsure. Malik saw this and moved the way he did at mealtime. Slow, calm, predictable. He sat on the floor with Buddy and hummed the same little tune, From Feeding Time. He did not tap the bowl, because it was not mealtime, but he tapped the floor very lightly, ding in his own quiet way, just once. Buddy settled beside him and put his chin on Malik's knee. Mr. Parker stood in the doorway and did not interrupt. He joined the slow breathing, counting along in his head, and felt the storm pass across the house like a wave that came and went without knocking anything over. On Thursday, a staff member almost forgot the new rule. She reached to tap Buddy's bowl when he hesitated, her hand moving out of habit. Malik lifted his palm in a small pause and said, "I will do the tap," his voice clear but gentle. She stopped right away and smiled at him. "Of course," she said. "Keeper of the tap." Mr. Parker watched that small moment with pride. He felt grateful to see Malik hold his place and be heard without having to make his voice loud. Later, that evening, Mr. Parker asked the staff to meet in the den for 5 minutes. He kept his tone warm and steady. "Thank you for all the ways you keep this house running," he said. "I have one request. Private moments are not stories to pass along. If you see something you don't understand, come to me first, and we'll learn together. We are building trust here. We need your help to protect it." They nodded. One of them said, "Understood," and another added, "We're with you." Mr. Parker felt relief. He had not scolded. He had set a gentle boundary. The room felt lighter. It made space for Malik to feel safe in his own home. Friday brought a note from school. Ms. Chen wanted to check in. They met on the small bench near the flowers again. "How is the rhythm?" she asked. "Better," Mr. Parker said. He told her about the plan, about the tap, about the checks on the fridge. He did not tell every detail, because not every detail was for the world, but he shared enough so she could see the picture. "We have fewer choices, more calm," he said, "and I'm trying to listen with my whole face when he talks." Ms. Chen smiled. "That's a good phrase," she said. "Listening with your whole face. He will feel that." She shared one. "More tip. Give him roles that matter," she said. "Not pretend roles. Real ones. You've started with the tap. Maybe add one more. Something about dinner, something about the dog's walk, something about the house. Let him be the owner of a small corner of your world." That evening, Mr. Parker gave Malik a small, important job. He called it Lights of Home. After dinner, Malik would walk through the main rooms and turn off bright lights and turn on 2 warm lamps by the couch and the fish tank light near the window. The soft glow would mean the day was done and calm time had begun. Malik took the job seriously. He practiced the order twice and wrote it down on a card. Kitchen lamp, den. Lamp, fish tank light, pantry light off. He placed the card in a drawer by the fridge. "This is good," he said. "It feels like a bedtime song for the house." Saturday morning came with a clear sky and fresh air. They went to the shelter with a small box of the new training treats Ms. Rivera had recommended. Malik wore a simple t-shirt he had picked himself and a cap with a tiny paw on the front. Mr. Parker let him lead. At the shelter, Malik moved quiet and kind, offering his open palm for sniffing, speaking in a soft voice, and reading each dog's name tag before greeting them. A volunteer named Jorge noticed his care. "You have a gentle way," Jorge said, kneeling to match Malik's height. "Would you like to help place water bowls?" "Yes," Malik said. He held the bowls steady so each dog saw the water arrive. He tapped the floor near the bowl once and hummed 2 notes. Jorge looked at Mr. Parker with a small smile. "He understands calm," he said. Mr. Parker felt something warm move through his chest. On the way home, Malik was quiet in the comfortable way, resting. He looked out the window and traced the trees with his eyes. Buddy dozed between them and made a content sound, like a cat's purr but softer. At lunch, they tried a new simple recipe: peanut butter banana smoothies. They measured, blended, and poured into 2 glasses. "To small steps," Mr. Parker said, lifting his glass. "To small steps," Malik echoed, clinking in a tiny toast. Not everything was smooth. On Sunday, Mr. Parker knocked over Buddy's water bowl by accident while reaching for a towel. Water spread across the floor fast. Buddy jumped back, startled. Malik flinched. Mr. Parker froze for half a second, then remembered the rhythm. He crouched low and said, "I will clean this slowly." He dabbed the water with a towel instead of pushing it fast across the floor. "I'm sorry, Buddy," he said in a calm voice. Malik set the bowl upright and placed his hand on Buddy's. Back without a word, the dog settled. They moved like a team, and the small disruption became a practice field for staying steady when things tip. That afternoon, they baked cookies. This time, Malik chose the recipe. He read each step out loud. "Stir, not beat," he said seriously, and Mr. Parker obeyed. The first tray came out a little too brown at the edges, but the center was soft and good. Malik bit into one and closed his eyes for a second, then gave half to Buddy as a pretend gift with no chocolate, just the idea of sharing. "You can't eat this," he told Buddy kindly, "but I can sit with you while I do." It was a new version of an old habit, safer and still full of care. In the evenings, their new Lights of Home routine became a favorite. Malik walked the house with calm footsteps, clicked off bright overheads, and clicked on the soft lamps. The fish tank glowed like a quiet pond. Buddy followed, his nails clicking in a small rhythm. Mr. Parker would wait on the couch and watch the house change color. It really did feel like a bedtime song for the rooms. One night, after lights and dishes, Malik brought his sketchbook to the table. "Can we make a page for Buddy's feelings?" he asked. "So we know what to do." They drew a short list and kept the language simple. Happy, tail waves, soft eyes, keep routine, say good boy, slow pet. Worried, ears back, pacing, sit near, hum, tap floor once, breathe slow. Very tired, yawns, slow steps, soft. Bed, low lights, quiet voices, hungry, looks at bowl, then at us. Keeper of the tap does the steps. They taped the page next to Buddy's calm meal. Mr. Parker added one more line at the bottom. "If you are not sure, ask Malik." He looked at his son and said, "Your calm helps our whole house." School days felt different too. The routine at home made mornings less heavy. At drop-off, Malik looked back at the car seat with his usual quick glance, then looked forward, and walked in with light steps. Mr. Parker saw him stop to hold the door for another student, and felt a small lift in his heart. He started staying for 2 extra minutes after drop-off, watching parents say goodbye, watching teachers greet families, learning the soft patterns that made a school day feel safe. Midweek, Ms. Chen invited parents to share short stories at the high-day library time. Mr. Parker asked Malik if he wanted him to volunteer. Malik thought for a long moment and then nodded. "You can talk about Buddy," he said, "and I can show the drawing with the tap." The library was bright with low shelves and a rug with shapes. Mr. Parker spoke in simple words about senior dogs and calm kitchens. He did not tell private family moments. He told the heart of the story, that kindness can be small and still strong, that patience can be a language, and that a soft song can tell a friend, "You are safe here." Malik stood beside him and held up the page with the little icons: hand, bowl, music note, heart. Children looked, quiet and curious. A teacher whispered, "Lovely," and the word floated like a leaf in sun. Back at home, Mr. Parker felt braver to ask small, real questions. "What did you like?" Sunday morning felt gentle from the first minute. The house woke up in a soft way. The kettle sang, the fish tank light blinked on, and the same 2 chairs waited by the table. Mr. Parker poured oatmeal into a pot and stirred slowly. Malik set 2 bowls on the table and lined up the spoons so their handles faced the same way. Buddy stretched in a long, careful arc and trotted to his mat near the pantry. The rhythm was steady. It made the walls feel like they were breathing along with them. When it was time for Buddy's meal, Malik moved to his spot. He opened his palm with one small treat so Buddy could see it. He lowered his hand like a clock. Hand. He tapped the bowl once. Ding. He hummed those few notes he liked. Buddy leaned forward and ate, calm and sure. Mr. Parker watched and felt that easy looseness in his chest again. He never got tired of it. It was the feeling of things working the way they were meant to work. After they cleaned up, Mr. Parker pulled a small notebook from the counter drawer. "I have an idea," he said. His voice was warm but not loud. "I want to try something with you. Only if you like it." Malik looked curious. "What is it?" "You taught me that small steps can change a whole day," Mr. Parker said. "What if we help other people take small steps too? Some families love their pets but are having a hard time right now. Some shelters need simple supplies. We could make little food kits and simple instruction cards. We could deliver them every month. Not a big show, just steady help." He paused. "We could call it Buddy's Bowl." Malik's eyes went to Buddy, then back to Mr. Parker. He nodded once, then a second time. "We can draw a logo," he said, "a bowl with a tiny ring for the tap." Mr. Parker smiled. "Perfect," he said. They moved to the table with paper and markers. Malik drew carefully. A round bowl, a small sound ring above it, a little hand next to it with an open palm. He added a tiny heart near the rim. He kept the lines simple and clear. "This means safe," he said, touching the ring with the tip of his finger. "And this means kind," he said, touching the heart. Mr. Parker took a photo of the sketch and sent it to a local print shop. The owner wrote back fast, "Come by this afternoon. We can make stickers." Malik's shoulders lifted with a quiet pride. Before they left, Mr. Parker sent a message to Ms. Rivera. He told her the idea in a few lines. She replied, "Wonderful. Keep it simple. Choose one size of kit. Add a short card with safe steps. Routine matters for shelters, too." He also told Ms. Chen. She said, "If Malik wants to, he can share about it at school library time. A few students are gathering pet food next week. This could fit well." At the print shop, paper smelled like vanilla and ink. The owner, a woman with bright glasses, greeted them at the door. "So you're the artist," she said to Malik. "I like your clean lines." She scanned the drawing and showed them how it would look on a sheet of stickers. The bowl, the ring, the hand, the heart. Malik watched the printer start. The machine hummed. The sheet slid out. His drawing was real in a new way. Many small copies, neat and shining. They stuck one on a small brown box. The box looked proud, like it had a job now. "We'll put food in here," Malik said. "And a card." They went to the shelter, with 3 boxes to test the idea. Jorge met them at the door. "Look at this," he said, touching the sticker. "Buddy's bowl. I like it." They opened a box together. Inside were 2 small bags of kibble, 1 can of wet food, a zip bag of training treats, and a folded card. The card had 4 steps with icons: open hand, bowl tap, hum, calm breath. It also had a small note: "If you're not sure, ask your vet or call us." Malik had drawn the icons himself. Jorge read the card. "Clear and kind," he said. "Families will understand this." They stayed for an hour to help. Malik carried the boxes one by one to a shelf labeled "Outgoing." He moved with care, not speed. He wrote the date on each one in neat numbers. Mr. Parker spoke with the shelter manager about making a plan. "We can bring 10 boxes on the first Friday of each month," he said. "Then we'll see how it goes." The manager nodded. "Consistency is gold," she said. "Thank you." On the way home, Malik stared at the sticker on the extra box, on his lap. He traced the sound ring gently. "This looks like us," he said. "It does," Mr. Parker said. "It looks like our house turned into a circle." That night, Malik asked if he could practice talking for the school library visit. He wrote his thoughts on 3 small cards. Card 1. "My dog is Buddy. He is a senior dog. He likes calm rooms." Card 2. "We have a safe way to feed him. Open hand, tap, hum, breathe slow." Card 3. "We made Buddy's bowl to help others. Small steps help." He read the cards out loud. His voice was soft but clear. He did not rush. Mr. Parker timed him. 2 minutes, he said. "Just right." At school, the library smelled like books and wood. The children sat on a colorful rug. A teacher introduced Malik. He stood, held his cards, and spoke in simple lines. He showed the drawing with the icons. He told them about the tap. He said, "A soft sound can tell a friend it is safe." He did not tell private family stories. He told the heart of the lesson. When he finished, hands went up. "Does your dog like walks?" a student asked. "Yes," Malik said. "Short ones. He is old. We walk slow." "Do you sing the same song every time?" another asked. "Yes," Malik said. "Only a few notes. They sound like calm." A teacher asked if they could hang a small copy of the steps by the pet food drive box. Yes, Malik said. He handed her a sheet with the icons and the title, Buddy's Calm Meal. The teacher smiled and said, "Thank you for teaching us." Back at home, Mr. Parker emailed a local market to ask about a small partnership. He did not ask for a big banner or an event. He asked for steady support, a small shelf space for a donation box, and a monthly match of 10 cans. The store manager agreed to try for 3 months. "We like simple programs," the manager wrote. "We like promises we can keep." There were hiccups. The next month, the shelter had more families than boxes. The list filled fast. Mr. Parker felt a flicker of worry. He wanted to rush and buy 100 boxes. He stopped himself. He remembered what they had learned. He wrote to the shelter. "We can add 5 more this month and 5 more next month. We want to grow in a way we can keep." The shelter wrote back, "Thank you. Steady is kind." At Iyas dinner that night, Malik asked a new question. "Can we make a second card for people too?" "What would it say?" Mr. Parker asked. Malik thought. He drew a tiny bowl in the corner of the paper and then a tiny heart. He wrote in slow, neat letters, "Eat together. Ask one simple question. Listen." He looked up. "It helps me," he said. It could help them. Mr. Parker felt a soft rush of gratitude. "Yes," he said. "We can do that." They printed the second card and added it to the boxes in a small pocket. It was not instructions. It was an invitation. It said, "You matter. Your routine matters. Your voice matters." The first family who received a box wrote a short thank you note. It said, "We are between jobs. Our dog is our comfort. Your little card about dinner helped us sit together and breathe. Thank you for making things feel possible." On a quiet Saturday, Ms. Rivera visited them at home. She watched a meal, admired the fridge notes, and sat with Malik on the floor to draw a feelings map for Buddy. "This is a beautiful rhythm," she said. "Keep it simple. Protect it." She looked at Mr. Parker. "And you, keep listening with your whole face." He laughed softly. "I'm trying," he said. Ms. Chen also came by the house one afternoon for tea. She saw the Lights of Home card in the drawer and the Buddy's Calm Meal poster on the fridge. "Rolls with real value," she said. "This is how confidence grows." She asked Malik about the library talk. He said, "My voice was small but enough." She said, "Small and steady is a strong kind of voice." As the weeks passed, the house collected small proofs of change. The fridge filled with check marks, the shelter shelf filled with labeled boxes. The corner near the pantry held a tidy stack of brown cartons, each with the Buddy's Bowl sticker and the date. The staff moved quietly around the new patterns. They did not gossip anymore. They asked clear questions and wrote down the answers. One evening, the housekeeper put a tiny gold star on the Lights of Home card and wrote, "Expert." Malik saw it and smiled a wide smile that reached his eyes. One late afternoon, the market manager invited them to place the donation box near the checkout. Malik carried it in his arms like a treasure. He placed it down and smoothed the sticker with his palm. A little boy walking with his mother dropped one can of dog food into the box. It made a soft clunk. Malik nodded in thanks and looked at Mr. Parker. "It sounds like the bowl," he whispered. "It sounds like yes." On a Sunday evening near the end of the month, they held a small packing night at home. 2 staff members joined them at the table. No music, no rush, just the sound of bags sliding and markers squeaking as they wrote dates. Buddy lay under the table, eyes half closed. Mr. Parker measured, Malik sealed, a staff member stacked. They added the second card to each box and tapped the top flap once, a tiny ritual that made everyone smile. After they finished, they ate soup and bread. The talk was light, a joke about soup steam making glasses fog, A small story about a silly sign in a store window, a memory about the day Buddy first wagged his tail in a big, round way. It felt like a circle closing and opening again, the way circles do when they grow. That night, Malik did the lights of home. Click, click, click. The house turned calm and soft. He stood in the pantry to tell,